Hello and welcome back to the transfer special. Just before we get into that, I do want to thank everyone for the amazing support that they have shown the channel so far. As we are only just starting out, everything that you guys have been doing is really appreciated, so thank you very much, and I'll appreciate your continued support in helping the channel grow moving forward. An incredible season for us last time out, 7th place finish in the Premier League, and that sets us up for the Conference League next year. Very exciting time for us, but obviously going into European competitions we will need good depth in the squad, but also we will need to upgrade some areas to ensure that we remain competitive. With that in mind, I have kind of picked what I would think could be starting players for us next year. Simon, Seal and Ballard, I think they're good enough to still be first team quality players for us. Bellingham and Ouedraogo starting, Clark and Bonney. I think with them we've got good options already in those positions, but the key positions I do want to improve upon going forward. Would like a left back, maybe two. Luke Thomas is loan's ending, I think we can do better than him, and Zacharias as well. Decent little squad player, but hasn't featured all too much this season, and if we can get some money for him and upgrade in that area, that would be great. Trey Hume I think is good enough to be a squad player for us, so I've got him on the bench, but I do want to upgrade at right back as well. Obviously Sales can play there, but if we can get someone else in there and maybe move Pembele on, and that would be a good option for us. Janecek as well, a player who can play in a couple of positions. He's going to be sticking around the squad, but the Pepetti project, that might be coming to an end, looking to move him on. We will have Triantis returning from loan as well. He's been out in France for the year. So maybe in the defensive department, definitely the wide areas, and maybe one upgrade at centre back if we can find it. Again, that deep line playmaker position, obviously we've got Ekwa and Neil who can both fill in there. So I think we just need one good solid player who can be starting there for us. Legovsky, he has not been overly great, so maybe looking to move him on in the summer. And the next position, I think we need a winger. Bennett, obviously he's going to be sticking around. He's homegrown a club, so he helps us with the European registration rules, which we do need to be following. But as well, I think he has improved quite a bit, and he is a good option for us to have in the squad. Unfortunately, I do think Patrick Roberts' time at the club may be numbered. He is showing signs of decline and hasn't featured much in the team since the January time. We're maybe going to see if we can get an upgrade in that area and see maybe if we can move Patrick Roberts on. Don't envisage him getting too much football with us this season, but if he stays, he is a good little squad option for us to have, especially with the extra games that we will be having in Europe. Well, Luke Thomas will be going. We did ask Ben Doak's agent if he would be interested in a permanent transfer. He has zero interest in a permanent transfer to us at the moment. May look to revisit that once the transfer window goes open, or once the season ticks over. But if we just move him to the under-21 squad, as he will be returned to Liverpool, this is currently what our first team for next year would look like. If we do have a look as well, Chris Rigg, he will be returning. Bradley Dack, his contract is up, he won't be here. This is what we will be left with as a first team squad. Jay Matete, his loan will be made permanent, so he's no longer part of the squad. Maybe looking to move on Ashish as well. Went out on loan to Birmingham, made one substitute appearance, so he didn't have the quality to break into their team. Not good enough for our first team at the moment, and likely that he won't be getting too many chances. We do have Chris Rigg, who with the addition of European football probably will be getting more starts and appearances in our first team again this season. Being out in League One and made 11 appearances for Wrexham this season. So just getting a little taste of more first team football, that'll be amazing for his development, even if his rating wasn't quite what we would expect. Semedo as well, good little player for us. He does have a contract for another 4 years. Maybe not quite ready to trouble our first team at the moment, so may look to loan him out again or potentially move him on permanently. Options that we do have, and some decisions do need to be made. I think we do need to be ruthless with some players. So I think Pembele, his time at the club may be up. Pepetti, his time coming. Legovsky, Zacharitis and Roberts. These are probably players who we are going to actively look to move out this season and get a little bit more money into the transfer budget so we can go and improve the squad in the positions that we need the most. Just before we tick along to the start of the transfer window, I do just want to reveal a signing has been made. Tin Den Bogenda, a little Dutch forward, he will be joining us once the transfer window opens. I think unfortunately he won't be joining us before the end of his 18th birthday, which means he won't be able to get the homegrown at club status. 2 days before the transfer window opens, it is his birthday. But as an option for us in the squad, he looks like he could be a good little player for us. He's coming in as a fringe player, so I'm not expecting too much football, but a good option for us. Another young player coming in who will only improve going forward, and he is the first addition. We didn't use any of this season's transfer budget. It was a transfer which we arranged, I think midway through March maybe, so something which has been in the works for a while. He will be coming in, and interesting to see who we can add on top of him as well. Well, this is a nice little treat for us. We've gone up to the Europa League now. So, yeah, Europa League football next season. Start of the transfer window has arrived. 2 players joining the club. The one I mentioned before, Tin Den Bogenda, he is coming. Nice little addition in the attacking ranks for us. Obviously wasn't a priority position, but because we didn't have to spend any of this year's budget in, good to get him into the squad. Another good option that we do have up there. And as well, Cameron Ishmael initially has come in to be part of the under-21 squad, but he has good determination, decent attributes technically already, so if he can improve, maybe could force his way into challenging for places in the first team in the future. Not expecting too much from him. We are going to let him settle down in the under-21s for a bit, but maybe in the future we could see Cameron Ishmael in the first team. Jamie Cumming, he has gone. A fee of £450,000 came into the club. Obviously has come in, did play our backup keeper, barely an appearance that he did make for us, and just to get his wages off the bill, that's a fantastic sort of bit of business I think for us. He can go and hopefully play a bit of football now. That'll be good for his career. Nothing much else happening in the way of outgoings. We have offered a few players out, not yet getting any realistic bites. Don't really want to loan Zacharias out. If we are going to get rid of him, I'd rather it was on a more permanent deal, especially with the amount of time left that is in the window to sort something out. So we are going to go ahead and reject those. Interestingly, on the ins, there is someone coming in, as long as he gets his work permit, that is. Stelios Andreou, the Cypriot centre-back, signed him from Charleroi for £15.5 million. Lots of teams were after him, Liverpool, Madrid, Man U, I think amongst the teams. We got there first, and just looking at him, he could be the upgrade in the centre-back department that we have been looking for, and with that age as well, obviously huge amount of development ahead of him. We are still awaiting the work permit decision, so hopefully that will go through, but another exciting addition to the squad. Confirmation then, Andreou has completed his sign to the club. He did get his work permit. He comes in as an important player on his contract, but with the coach report, he is a star player for us. As we say, there's still room to improve. Good pace for a centre-back. Really looking like he could be a very solid addition for us. Will offer some good depth in that area. So very delighted to be able to get him in quite early on in the transfer window as well. And like we say, lots of big teams were after him. So Hopefully that's a good sign. He's going to come in and he will just be a brick wall for us, keep everything out. It is something that we were looking to improve. I'm very happy to get something over the line early. With the addition of Andrei Olev, we still have £76 million in the transfer budget. Our committed spending's only 977, so just under 75,000 available in that wage budget there. Good options for us. Obviously there is still players to come back on loan, so will be things to factor into that. We are looking obviously to move some players on as well, so that budget and those budgets are going to be changing quite a lot over the course of the window. We're just happy though to be sitting on a nice healthy balance, and we do have a lot of options which we should be open to us being in Europa League next year, and if we can have a successful window it'll set us up really well. We said last season's transfers worked out well for us, and we are just getting some recognition of that from outside as well. Angel Alcon, he has been the signing of this season, and I think that's very much to do with the transfer fee. Only £1.7 million paid for him, and I think we can all agree £1.7 million for a player of his quality is very much a steal. Obviously going forward we do want him to improve somewhat if he is to stay part of the first team squad, but the impact he had on his first season, we couldn't really ask for too much more. Obviously still young, first time in the English football, and then Edrago as well. He was one of the runners up, and yet again you can see why. 18 years old, £12 million, again another fee which could be a steal, especially if you're looking at his value now, 87 million to 104 million, and he's just got what a ceiling this player could have. We are going to hope he stays at Sunderland for quite a long time and develops and reaches that ceiling here, but amazing first season, and like we said, just nice to get a bit of recognition for the transfer business that we did have in that first season. Just some transfer business, like we're saying, the season has ticked over, so there's nothing here now. The last bit of business that was done, Matthias Lagowski, he joined West Brom for an £8 million fee. Obviously he came to us that season I think for £4.2 million, so we've just about doubled our money on him. That's a good profit I think, and definitely part of the business that we did want to get done. Unfortunately though, the Papetti project, that looks to be coming to a sad end. Bids of £8 million we have accepted for him. That's going to be a £5 million loss, so maybe just upset by that Lagowski money, but he has really not performed to the level that we wanted him to. He's going to be moving on, hopefully if he can agree a contract, but represents a loss and one of the risks that we do have with this transfer strategy. Obviously signing younger players, sometimes they're going to live up to the potential, sometimes they don't. I think this one was probably just a mistake by me, not really up to the levels that we needed him to be. The stats, the attributes that he does have, maybe a bit misleading for how good he is on the pitch. Maybe going to get some money for him though, increase that budget, get some more money on the wages. But that's what happened last season. Next season we're going to start, and hopefully we can get some good transfers coming in. Is one underway at the moment. When that goes through, we'll pop back. Obviously the defensive positions are the priority, so we've gone out and signed a winger. Loran, 18-year-old Brazilian, coming in as a very hot prospect for us, is in as a squad player, so I'm not expecting overly too much football in the first season. Could be a very, very good prospect for us. Again, taking a risk, signing the young player, maybe hoping that they will develop. Decent attributes to begin with. He's going to be playing on that right hand side, him and Bennett fighting it out, and it'll be interesting to see how well he develops. I am expecting good things from him. He's been on our radar for quite a while, and being able to get this one over the line. Other good news coming as well. Papetti, he will be going out. 7.75 million being added into our transfer budget, and Mayenda, he's about to move on loan to Carlisle. So if we have a look now, once those deals have gone through, we'll see what else we have to play with, and potentially look to begin that defensive improvement 86 million in the bank, 150,000 left on the wage budget. Good money for us to go and spend. We are also at this point looking to get rid of a couple of more players. Obviously Papetti, that one will be arranged soon, so he can go at the under 21 squad. Patrick Roberts, there is currently bids for him. Sheffield United and Al Qadsiya, they've both offered 12.5 million. He wasn't getting much football for us. Obviously he has come to Sunderland and his career has really taken off again, but really felt it was maybe time for him to move on. Like we said in the last episode, he has been showing signs of decline in recent episodes, and he has now the opportunity to go on and maybe make a name for himself elsewhere. Obviously he does need to go, he does need to sign that deal, isn't confirmed yet, and Ashish, we are looking to move him on as well. No interest as of yet, but like we say, we don't think he's going to be fitting into our first team plans. Reece Williams, probably would look to get rid of him as well. Hasn't made an appearance for us since he joined, but obviously has only just joined. But as well, going into Europe, another option to have in the squad. Could be decent to have around. So looking good. Nice start to the transfer business, I would think, and just looking to continue in this vein moving forward. Patrick Roberts has agreed a deal with Al Qadsiya. He will be going out and £10 million will be getting added to our transfer budget as a result of that. Has been a fantastic player for us. We're not going to forget his contribution, but ultimately we moved on and needed an upgrade in his position. Will be interesting to see what wages he is on moving forward, and maybe a little spoiler of a surprise there. We are scouting Van Persie, not Robin. It's his son, Shaquille. He maybe looks to be a fantastic player if we just have a little look at him there and playing a few different positions for us, and is maybe an interesting signing who we are considering. Not making an approach at the moment, but we'll see how the transfer window progresses. Definitely at the minute we are looking to get more defensive additions ahead of other additions. It is now the 1st of July, so at this point in time, obviously all the loans end, so we are going to get a much better of idea of what our squad looks like, and we'll get some players who have been released from the first other Premier League teams. Just going on the ones that we've released, a bit of sad news. Elliot Embleton unfortunately hasn't worked out for him at Sunderland, and he's been released on a free transfer. Hopefully he will be able to join the club and have a successful career, because he has looked very promising in flashes. But unfortunately for us in this save, being released. Bradley Dack as well, probably the next big name on this list. Just for us, got a big injury in his first pre-season, and that just kept him away from our first team throughout most of this save. Spent last year on loan at Portsmouth. Wasn't too bad for them, but like another one like Embleton, hopefully he'll be able to get himself a new club relatively soon and enjoy the remainder of his career as well. Looking across the names that have been released there, interesting to see Newcastle releasing a few of their first team players at the moment. Kieran Trippier, Callum Wilson and Dan Burn all being released. Probably wouldn't have expected that. Was that Jose Mourinho as manager of Newcastle as well? Of course it's Jose Mourinho. But yeah, they've released some interesting players there. Not really sure what's going on. I don't think Newcastle are in any form of European competition, so maybe looking to have a bit of a rebuild themselves. Maybe considering making a move for, quite surprisingly, is probably Zach Steffen. We are looking to loan Matthew Young out for the season, so if Steffen's interested in coming in and being a backup keeper, maybe wouldn't mind getting him in just to add a little bit of competition and just a little bit of depth in the goalkeeping department. So maybe we'll have a look to see what his demands are. Other than that, no one else on that list I am interested in, and just going to have to move on with the window. And obviously defensive reinforcements still the priority. It's been quite a few busy days here at Sunderland, lots of business taking place. We'll start with the ins. Zach Steffen did join on a free transfer just to offer a little bit of depth into that goalkeeping department. Then we signed two young fullbacks. Will Walters from Arsenal. He came in at quite a hefty fee, 32.5 million overall. But he looks like he has good potential for us, could be a fantastic player for us moving forward. Only 20 years old, lots of room for him to improve, and he can slot in on that right hand side. And on the other side, Alex Val, he has joined from Barcelona. This bid, relatively cheap at £10 million, and if we just look at him again, he looks like he could be another fantastic player for us going forward on that left hand side. Hopefully him and Clark can form a nice little partnership together, and he'll be reunited with Alarcon as well, so that'll help him bed into the squad a bit quicker hopefully. A lot of outs have happened though. We'll start with a couple of loan deals. Matthew Young and Tommy Watson both leaving the club. Matthew Young, second season out on loan, he's now playing League 1 football with Stevenage. And as well, Lewis Semedo, he's joined Ipswich on loan for the season, so another season of Championship football for him. And Ashish, he's at Bordeaux, option for them to sign him permanently. No one was really interested in him for the prices we were offering out. Bordeaux came with the best offer, and he's there. We'll see what happens with his future. Nathan Bishop, he's now going to play a backup at Manchester City. Very, very interesting move. Don't think anyone would have expected Nathan Bishop to be at Manchester City, especially when they've just let Zach Steffen go on a free transfer. I feel we've got the better of the deal in that scenario. And as well, in more recent news, Zacharidis, he's gone to Leeds, £13.5 million. The squad were actually very disappointed that I let him go. Was quite surprised, didn't think they would be as disappointed as what they were, but lo and behold, they were. When we signed Alex Val, they quickly let go of that disappointment. And Timothy Pembele as well, he has gone to Parma, £14 million for him. Again, with the signing of Walters and Trey Hume being there, Sale also able to play in that right back position. Got plenty of depth. Pembele probably wasn't going to get too much in the team, so good to get that money coming into the bank balance and freeing up some wages for the club as well. If we are just going to have a look as well, a couple of other transfers underway at the minute. Dennis Serkin could be returning to the club, £7 million, only wants to be a fringe player, and wages will be around $25,000 a week. So I feel just to add a bit of depth into that left back, obviously losing the two that we did have last year, probably needed a couple in there, and with his squad ambitions, he'll be able to come in and stay relatively quiet if he's not getting too much football. And then the other position we have been looking to strengthen, obviously that deep line playmaker role. Daniel Gore from Manchester United, we're looking to bring him in. Obviously 20 years old, lots of room to improve, but looking at him now, he's got a very solid set of attributes at the moment, and hopefully getting a decent amount of first team football under his belt here at Sunderland, he'll just be able to improve massively, and we'll hopefully be able to see him go on and have a fantastic career. Still waiting to get those two over the line. We'll come back if there's anything to speak about. Dennis has completed his return to the club. Daniel Gore also signed as well. I had a look at the squad at that point and thought we don't really need to do much else in the way of business for this window. The squad looked to be at a good level. Still just scouting some wonder kids for future purposes in case we do find anything. Once I had a look at the squad and decided it was complete, we still had a lot of money left over, as you can see. So the business didn't end there. Van Persie, we have gone and got him just simply because why won't we sign Van Persie? Obviously he's his own player. His dad was a fantastic player, and if he can score some of the goals like his dad did, then we'll be looking at some fantastic strikes for us. Can play across the front three, so it will offer us a good option. At the moment, is only wanting to be a fringe player, so he will be available for the under-21s, get some games there, but I'm sure he will get a decent amount of opportunities throughout the season. Like I said, I do think most of the business is complete at this moment. Gives us a squad of 28 people. Happy with the numbers that we've got. Obviously a lot of depth in there. Chris Rigg, he can be available for the under-21s just to make sure he's getting a steady amount of game time, but as well he will be getting opportunities in the first team throughout the season. But other than that, I'm very happy with the work we have been able to put in. I feel the defence has been improved everywhere that we needed it to be, especially in the full-backs positions. Alex Farr, I think he could be a key player for Sunderland going forward. Looks to be a fantastic left-back with all the attributes that you want for an attacking wing-back as well. Still able to defend, but can do the attacking side of it fantastically and a good amount of pace on it as well. And then Stelios Andreou, again, the centre-back I think we may have been missing for a while. He looks to be a step above what we have had at the club, and hopefully with him we will be a lot more solid at the back going forward. Like we're saying though, with the squad that we've got at the minute, I honestly don't think there's much more I want to change going into the first games of the season. We've still got a lot of money left to spend, so obviously there is still potential for us to do some business throughout the remainder of the window, but there's nothing pressing at the moment. Obviously, if anything happens in between now and the first game of the season, I'll let you know about it in tomorrow's episode. We will be coming back for the first couple of games, Fulham at home, then Arsenal away is how we start the season. I wouldn't expect anything. I'm not going to be actively looking to make any signings. Would only be if someone comes in for a key player and we need to replace them. I'm happy with the squad that we've got. I feel this one can go out and assault the Premier League and the European League as well. So we are going to hope that they can do that. Will look to be a fantastic season for us again. Like we say, a few weeks until it begins, but next episode, hopefully we're seeing a lot of new players come into the squad and seeing what they can do. If you have enjoyed that, please like the video. Put your comments down below. What do you make of the transfer business? Please subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the content. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.